Here we are then, guys, another week of Beat the First Man with me, Reedy, the madness of the unique football podcast on your YouTube channel. It's new time of 6 PM on a Saturday evening, the self-proclaimed shit soccer AM. So coming up on today's show, our new feature, Premier League managers, it's a knockout. It's great, trust me. Ted is on the warpath, the Bring It Back is brought back, and on zooming in, we've got the semi-finals of the Beat the First Man FA Cup. So cue the fiery footballs. Let's go! As always, guys, thank you so much. Episode 35 now of Beat the First Man. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Much appreciated. If you don't, please hit the subscribe down below. Be sure to like it at the end of the show. Be sure to fire your comments in on Premier League managers. It's a knockout. Your comments will all be needed to get the manager through that you want to get through. All will become clear when we get to it. Hold your excitement. I can tell you're very, very excited. Me and my silly little show. So let's get on with how old anyway. Let's get on with the show. Let's enough talk about what's coming up. So how old the show, the game that's talked more about than COVID and vaccines put together. It's quite simply where we find an old photograph of a footballer and all you have to do is guess how old that footballer was when the photo was taken. So this week we have an Irishman who wore the colours of both Fulham and Chelsea. He made 149 appearances for Fulham and the Craven Cottage outfit before he headed down the King's Road, or up the King's Road, I'm not sure, it was along the King's Road, to Chelsea, where he made a further 166 appearances before he went to the States, and he ended his career at Dundalk in Ireland. He also played for his native Ireland, made 19 appearances in the famous Emerald Green of Ireland. But you know, that's all lovely. But this career highlight is when this photo was taken of John Dempsey smiling. How old was he? Admit it. It's a great photo, isn't it? Come on, admit it. So, Premier League managers, it's a knockout. So I promised you the teaser last week that it was coming. I even put the draw on social media yesterday so you knew a little bit more. But here's how it's going to work. So it's called Premier League managers, it's a knockout. What do you mean none of you know what that music is? That's the theme tune to It's a Knockout back in the day. I realise there's only a very small segment of the audience who've got any idea what I'm talking about. And I know I won't be bringing on the Belgians. There's another It's a Knockout gag, that's two. I'll drop it now. So simple. There are 5 rounds. It's straight knockout. All 20 Premier League managers are involved. There are also 5 categories. And on each round, there's a category which is drawn out along with the managers to find out how they will get through. And it's quite simple. I'll discuss it on here. You guys vote in either the comments below or on the polls on Twitter, the polls on Facebook. And then there is a little jury as well. It's me, Ted, maybe guess. Bloke walking his dog, walks past the house. That'll be about it. And we decide who goes through to the next round. So this week we made the first round draw. There's only 4 ties because we needed to get it down to 16. That's because in cup competitions you have to have 6. It has to be an equal number to get us down to the final. So there's 4 ties. So all the other managers get buys. So the ties were drawn. Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea against Ralph Hasenhüttl at Southampton. Pep Guardiola at Man City against Paul Heckingbottom of Sheffield United. Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool versus Carlo Ancelotti, Everton. What a draw in the first round. A Merseyside derby. Graham Potter of Brighton against Dean Smith of Aston Villa. So there's your draw. So we then drew out the category. Well, my glamorous assistant, Tracy, aka Guess, drew it out. And the category 1 to decide the winner of the ties, football tactics, football knowledge, 3 rounds of boxing. So 3 rounds of boxing to decide who goes through. So let's look at the first tie. Thomas Tuchel, Ralph Hasenhüttl. Thomas Tuchel, right, okay, he's going to be very tactical, be a lot of dodging around the ring, he'll be a lot of movement sideways and backwards, a lot of this and a lot of that. He might try and land the odd blow, but he's going to be very much a jab and weave kind of man, isn't he, like his managerial style. Well, he's up against Ralph Hasenhüttl. There's a huge weight difference. If big Ralph catches him all one, Thomas, he could be knocked down the King's Road again to Fulham. I mean, you've got to fancy Ralph is going to take out Thomas in this one, to be honest. But has Ralph got the staying power for 9 minutes of boxing? You know, he's a big old lad and he's going to be looking for that big knockout blow, isn't he? So, I don't know, it's a tough one to call. So, get on the polls and think who you decide. For me, I think it's Ralph. I think his punching power will be too much and it'll take Tuchel out. But, you know, if you think differently, please put your comments below. Let me know why. Moving on, Pep Guardiola against Paul Heckingbottom. Pep Guardiola, the old tick-attacker of boxing. It'll be jab, 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 jab. There won't be any knockout blow. He won't be interested in knockout blows. It'll be all about the jab. Paul Heckingbottom, it'll be about what he does without the punches, with the punches. Without punches, with punches. I mean, you can only see Pep winning, to be honest. I mean, Heckingbottom might be the South Yorkshire lad, be a tough character, but Pep's going to have too much, isn't he? It's just going to be constant punches, and he's just going to take Heckingbottom out. Again, let me know what you think. Jurgen Klopp and Carlo Ancelotti, a Merseyside derby in the ring. Klopp is going to go in and try and swarm all over him, isn't he? He's literally going to try and from the off, throw in punches, constant, press, 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 trying to push Ancelotti back into the corner. But Ancelotti's a wily old fox. He's going to know if he gets out of the way, Klopp could burn himself out. You know, Ancelotti, will he just be a lot of that going on? Just throwing the odd jab back, picking up the points, looking to steal a victory on points. Klopp's going to clearly go for landing as many punches as he can to get the points on. I don't know, it's a tough one, very tough. Throw in the Merseyside rivalry as well, you know, you never know. Ancelotti's got that one punch, isn't he, that could just take him out. So who wins, Klopp or Ancelotti? Let us know. Graham Potter and Dean Smith. Now, I've got to say, for me, it's Dean Smith all day long. Graham Potter doesn't look like he'd punch his way out of a wet paper bag, if I'm being honest. He always looks so cold. And Dean Smith's a big old unit, and I just think Dean he's going to take him out. I can only see the one winner. So get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get on the polls, vote for who you think is going to go through in each one to the second round. The second round will be a completely different category. Trust me, there's 5 quality categories. It's all drawn at random, so who knows who's going to win this competition. But get voting. Without you guys, this won't work. Otherwise, it's just me and my thoughts. So get voting, get commenting below. Let's try and make this good. Let's see who is the ultimate Premier League manager. It's a knockout winner. There we go. That's it.
Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, oh bring it back to me. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, oh bring it back to me.
So, bring it back. We've not done one for a while, so you've just had Chloe's dulcet tones telling us that we're going to bring something back. So, this is inspired by going to watch boys football last weekend. My lad was playing, and there was a bit of an incident. Anyway, the lad went down injured and the ball was out of play. Referee stopped the game, but rather than rolling the ball to one of the teams, he called 2 players in and he did a bounce up or a bounce ball or a drop ball, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it a shin kicking competition, because let's face it, that's what it becomes. Referee throws the ball at the ground, it bounces up in the air, players kick each other's shins, nowhere near the ball. Refs do it on purpose, they're sly, they know what they're doing with the drop ball. So, you know, and the other thing that happens, players inevitably kick the ball before it hits the ground, because they're never going to get it, and if they don't, they're going to get a kick on the shins. But it was great to see it brought back, and the 2 lads who were called together, they just looked at each other like, what do we do now? I'd like to see more of this. I'd like to see the Premier League players a little bit. Can you imagine a bounce ball? They kick each other's shins. They'd both be rolling about pretending to be injured. They wouldn't know who to accuse of diving and who to accuse of fouling. But I think the bounce ball, it'd be great to see it come back. So, bounce ball, bring it back, aka shin kicking. That's what we want in the Premier League right now. So, here he is, the Tedster, the mighty Ted, the one and only Ted. All right, Reedy, enough ass kicking. What do you? Ass kicking, ass kissing. What do you want? It'd help if you got your lines right. We've been practicing this all week. Like shite, have we? You've knocked this lot together in one day. How rude. I do this all week, this takes me. Anyway, nothing, Ted. Anyway, I was just bigging you up after your comments last week that you were the star of the show and we'd lose all the subscribers if you weren't on it. Well, that's a fact. But you chatting shit and arse-kissing me isn't going to change that, is it? No, it's not. But I was just being, I was just being a bit nice. So, what else do you want me to do? Forget all that. Have you been to the pub yet, Reedy? No, I'm not going to lie, Ted. It's great the pubs are reopened. I'm really pleased, but it's a bit chilly out there, and I don't really fancy sitting in a beer garden, to be honest, until it warms up a bit. How about you? Yep, lashed up Monday and Tuesday, mask hanging off me ears, social distancing forgotten as I got lashed and hugged every stranger in sight. Well, Ted, that's not very responsible, is it? I hope you haven't given them Leicester players that went out and had that party the Little Knob of the Week award. Are you joking? I was out drinking with them. Me, Madders, Wes, we were all out drinking. Evening, Madders, evening, Wes. Ted, enough anyway. That's you can't be encouraging this type of behaviour. Let's get on to the Little Knob of the Week if the Leicester lads haven't won it. So who has won it this week? Who's got the Little Knob of the Week award? Well, we love an idiotic statement. We do that, Ted. Who has made one, my friend? Step forward, OGS, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Oh, what's he done, Ted? I think I might know, but you'll have to fill me in. Just fill me in on what he's done. Well, they've changed the seats around at Man United now to black from red, as Ole made a claim. Reedy, you tell him. I can't for laughing. It's that stupid. You've got it written down on that piece of paper in front of you. You read it. Are you still hanging? Yep. Madders and me, tequila slammers all night long. Okay, so in a throwback to Sir Alex Ferguson in the old grey shirts at Southampton when he claimed that his players couldn't see each other, Ole has also gone down this route. So let me read it because I don't want to be misinterpreted or misquote Ole. So we've looked into this and it shouldn't be a reason, but some players have mentioned that split second decision, easy for you to say, you have to look over your shoulder to see where your teammate is. And it's a red shirt on a red background and it's hard to pick them out. Reedy? Yes, Ted? Don't people have heads and legs? They do, Ted. Do banners around pitches have heads and legs? They don't, Ted. They're just banners. They just sit on the seats. They don't move. Then why can't they tell the difference? Because, Ted, it's an utter crock of shit by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Absolute pony. Just nonsense. Trying to deflect attention yet again. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for the second time this season, I'm going to get accused of bias if we're not careful. Second time this season, you are the winner of Ted's Little Knob of the Week. Congratulations, OGS. So Ted, we'll see you later for the old How Old the reveal. He will be back. So zooming in, earlier on this week we caught up with the Beat the First Man FA Cup. It's now reached the semi-final stage. Remember, there is the glorious prize of a £25 Amazon voucher up for grabs. Just 4 teams left, 4 players. We were missing a few. Liam, to be fair, he had a very good excuse and was excused. Chris, who threw the old Wi-Fi has crashed excuse out. A bit meh. And Tom, well, let's find out a bit more why Tom was missing from zooming in. Let's go see how the Beat the First Man FA Cup is going. So, welcome to another instalment of Beat the First Man FA Cup. You may notice we are down to 5 people on screen. So I'm going to make excuses for 2. And one of them is valiantly taking one for the team. Chris and Liam, unfortunately, can't be with us for a variety of issues. Tom has decided to take one for the team. Dave, do you want to tell everyone where Tom is?
He's in the garden at the Beekeepers on about his 15th pint, I think.
Yes, so we're recording this on Monday, the 12th of April, the first day the pubs have been reopened, and Tom has taken one for the team, and he has gone to the pub all day. So credit to Tom. So we might see him for the final if he's recovered by then, but who knows?
He's got no one left in anyway, has he?
No, we'll come to that. So evening, Roger, how are we?
I'm fine, thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
No, well, I mean, your instant response was, "Well, I'm out," but no, thank you for coming back on. So it's good. We just want everyone involved as late as we can get it. And Kean and Harry, the two brothers, both left in, which we'll discuss shortly. So semi-final stage, 4 teams left. Let's just recap the quarterfinals. Because I think we need to milk this moment. So we called Man City to beat Everton. We called Southampton to beat Bournemouth. We called Leicester to beat Man United, and we called Chelsea to beat Sheffield United. We called all 4 games bang on. So kudos to us. Of course, none of us put any money on those 4 going through, so we're no better off for it, but we'll take the glory. So semi-final stage. So semi-finals, notoriously the worst point of the cup to lose. You'd rather lose in a final than in a semi-final because at least you get a medal. So just very quickly, guys, just your best semi-final memories, if you wish it. So Dave, best semi-final memory as a fan or a player or whatever?
Well, I never got to any as a player, I can assure you that. Bit of Milk Cup won it. The away leg at Aston Villa. But it's not the match that I remember. It's the young lads walking alongside the Timbit minibus, showing us that they got bricks hidden underneath their jacket and we're going to get them round the corner, was my overriding remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are for you when we get round the corner, they were saying. So we sort of stopped the bus and the Cook brothers jumped out and, well, you can guess the rest, can't you?
Yeah. So that was 86. And the away leg was the second leg, wasn't it?
No, it's the first leg, 2-2.
It was the first leg. So you drew 2-2 at Villa Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then won 2-1.
Should have won it by a mile.
2-1 in the return at the Manor.
Yeah, nice late goal.
Yes. I remember
when we had a team.
Remember it well. Going down the slope towards the London Road.
Oh, memories, mate. London Road, down the slope, Manor ground, proper ground.
There you go.
That concrete death cesspit that we're playing now.
You're a fan of the new ground then, Dave, yeah?
Wouldn't be so bad if it was ours, would it?
No, well, no, I suppose there is that. That doesn't help.
No match day income. It all goes to Kassam, so it's a nightmare.
Yeah. But happy days, though, from 1986. Nice one to look back on.
Oh, yes. It was a great spell, wasn't it? You know, I know we weren't with Jim Smith there, but it was still his team. Yeah, the 2 years before that as well was amazing. Amazing 3 years.
Yeah. So, excellent. So, Roger, best semi-final memory as a player or a fan?
I can do both. I mean, as a fan, as a Spurs fan, long-suffering Spurs fan, I checked since the year 2000, we've been in semi-finals a few times, losing to Portsmouth, Chelsea, Man United. It's just been awful. I've had no good memories as a fan, as a Spurs fan, of a semi-final, always losing, and it's not fun. As a player, in the Devon Premier Cup, I think it was a semi-final, we flew across to Jersey. At the time, Jersey were like a decent team, and it was weird. I mean, leaving Devon to fly across to Jersey to play a Devon Premier Cup semi-final. We ended up winning 5-0. It was just surreal, just flying out there, taking part in a cup game to come back to Devon to play in Torquay.
Right.
Our final, I think we played Exeter Civil Service in the final. I think we won that one also. But the semi-final is always a tense game, isn't it? Because it's like you're so close.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's you are literally so close in touching distance. One good performance, and you've got that final moment to look forward to. But one bad performance, and it's lights out, and it's all done for another year.
But as a Spurs fan, it hasn't been fun. Semi-finals.
Well, talking of fans who haven't had much fun in semi-finals, let's move down to Kean and Harry. Let's go with Harry first, oldest to youngest. Your best semi-final memory?
Well, I've had to go pretty far back to have a good semi-final. And the only one I can think of is Carlisle in the playoff semi-final when we had 15 points deducted that season.
Yeah.
You know, if we hadn't had them points deducted, we would have been promoted, and it was just shocking. But we lost 2-1 in the first leg. We were there. I think Dougie Freedman scored in the 96th minute.
Yeah.
To make it 2-1 to Carlisle of 93. So they weren't happy about that. But I just remember the second leg at Carlisle, just a Johnny Howson masterclass.
Yeah,
But
Johnny Howson in the 90th minute to win 2 in the second leg.
Yeah, and Cian was 2 then, so I don't know what he's gonna drag at.
So Cian, what have you got?
There was literally nothing, and the one I picked, we literally lost the game. So it's like it didn't end well. But when Trippier scored the free kick against Croatia, that was quality. I thought we were going to do it all, but then obviously we didn't. But
and it all went horribly wrong.
Yeah, but for that little moment, then that was just quality.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to being a player. This is really digging back. It was under 15s as well, but it still lives with me to this day. So I was playing for a team called FC Mills. You'll know them well, Dave, FC Mills. So we were playing,
stone on their pitch for me. Huh?
Yeah. Well, we were playing against Chipping Norton, and we were always 2 of the better sides in the league. Our goalkeeper that we'd signed was cup tied. So our centre forward had to go in goal. We were 3-0 down in 20 minutes. The centre forward had a shocker in goal. He was to blame for probably 2 of the goals, to be fair. So we swapped the keepers. We got 2 back before half time, got it back to 3-2. I was lucky enough to head home. Yes, head home.
Were they dwarfs?
An equaliser with about 10 minutes to go, and we scored a winner in the last minute and won 4-3. It was incredible, and it was a sort of game I wished we were 18 or over, because we'd have been in the pub till about 5 in the morning, I think, celebrating, because to come from 3-0 down to win 4-3 in a semi-final was just incredible. And to this day, that's literally just made the hairs on my arms stand up just talking about that 4th goal, because it was just incredible. I can still see the 4th goal now to this day going in. So it was a great moment, and I could only imagine how bad the other team felt. I mean, having been 3-0 up and coasting towards the final. But hey ho, they didn't get there, we did. So the FA Cup, gents, we've got 4 teams left. So Roger, unfortunately, you've got no teams left. You're out. Chris, Liam and Tom, and I don't know if it's any coincidence, but they're also all out, and they're also not here to face the music. So at least you faced the music, Roger, credit to you.
Yep, thank you.
So let's start with the brothers Grimm. So Cian, Leicester, Harry, Southampton, you meet each other in the semi-finals. So who is winning the brothers showdown?
Well, this is a shocking game, to be honest. Leicester are about to bottle Champions League. Southampton have just lost to West Brom. I mean, it can't get any worse.
I did just notice that before we came on air.
It's just such a grim game to try and call. I mean, I can call it Leicester are going to win because they're miles better than Southampton, because they are shocking. But yeah, I'm not even going to back my own team. This is that's what you're getting from me. That's what you're getting from me.
Cian?
I mean, they did just lose to West Brom. Like, that just tells you all you need to know about the game. So yeah, Leicester.
To be fair, West Brom did batter Chelsea.
Well, yeah,
that's their only saving grace.
Yeah, but they still got Cole Bartley at the back.
So Harry, you're going Leicester then, yeah?
Yeah.
Cian, you're going Leicester?
Yeah, Leicester.
Roger?
As a neutral, Leicester.
Yeah. Dave?
I can't see Southampton doing it. It's got to be Leicester.
Well, I called it in the last round. I said Leicester would win it because they've never won it, and there won't be fans there in any numbers to see it. So I'm still calling them winning it. So I think they'll do Southampton on Saturday. I can't see any other result, to be honest. Southampton just look to have completely gone off the boil. And although Leicester have lost their last 2 games, and it appears they prefer partying these days to qualify into the Champions League, by all accounts. So rumour has it, just in case it wasn't a party and it was a proper gathering. So I think the other one is the one that's definitely a bit more of an attractive tie. So Dave, you've got Chelsea left. I've got Man City. I think it's, Dave, go for it. Chelsea?
No, Man City. Man City's going to win that game. I mean, I know they lost at the weekend to some little northern team. Can't remember who it was now. But, eight changes, was it, from the team that played when they were concentrate for the next game of the semi-final? I can't see Chelsea doing it. I'd love them to, because I can't stand these multi-billionaire teams, as you know, because I'm a League One supporter. No, I can't see Chelsea doing it. I'm sorry.
The irony of cheering for Chelsea because you don't want the multi-billionaires to win is quite amusing, Dave, I have to say.
Well,
it does make me laugh.
You know.
How things have changed when Chelsea aren't the multi-billionaires anymore.
Yeah. Well, they've got plenty of home players in their side now, haven't they?
So you're going Man City then, Dave?
I'm going Man City, and I think it'll be quite comfortable as well.
Okay, Roger.
Unless they play Sterling, of course.
Oh, well, yeah. Roger.
Chelsea.
Ooh.
I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I think they're on a bit of a run, and who knows?
One-off game.
Yeah. I mean, from looking at Chelsea, they seem to have a plan now. They seem to understand how to attack, how to defend. They seem more organized. Sorry, Frank. Those of you who love Frank, sorry. But they seem a bit more put together now. And everyone knows what they're doing. And yeah, so I'll give them a bit of an edge.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going Chelsea. So, Kian.
I'm going to go City. I think it's going to be City quite easily.
Yeah. So that's to the point, I suppose. Harry?
Yeah, I mean, City have got their eyes full steam ahead on the quadruple now, haven't they? They don't look like losing except to great teams. So
Leicester.
I think it'll be City comfortably.
Have you ever seen three people as smug after a Leeds United win over Man City as you're looking at right now? Now I've got Man City in the sweepstake. I think Chelsea are going to beat them. I do think Chelsea are going to beat them. I can't see Man City winning all four. And I think they're either going to slip up in this one or they're going to slip up against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup final. And I've got to be honest, Roger, I think there's more chance of slipping up against Chelsea, having watched Tottenham yesterday. I just got this funny feeling Chelsea are going to spawn a win and get through to the final. And I think it's going to be a Chelsea-Leicester final. But I could be proven wrong. I could be proven wrong.
You are an expert tipster, Mark, aren't you?
I'm flying in the tipster this year, Dave. As you noticed, thank you for bringing that up. I'm sure we'll get onto that later in the show. 16-13 down. I should have gone for Leeds to win, shouldn't I? I went for the draw. I played cautious. I went for the draw. Should have gone for us to win. I'd have pulled a point back.
Yeah.
So, gents, we've gone then for a Man City v Leicester final. So we started off with 64 teams. We had 8 each. If that plays out, it will be Kian against me in the final. But we'll see what happens for the £25 Amazon voucher that's up for grabs. If I win it, obviously you all have to chip in and get me a £25 Amazon voucher. I did mention that at the start, yeah? But gentlemen, thank you so much. We will catch up again before the final. What I'd quite like to do for the finals, we'll maybe do it on like the night before or the Thursday night, something like that. And we'll have a little bit of a cup final build-up and in the style of some of the old BBC Cup final build-ups. Maybe we'll have a little question of sport on the night before the final, like the good old days. Roger and Dave, you'll remember the good old days of cup final build-ups. when the cup final build-up started at 8 o'clock in the morning and it went all day. It was great.
Oh, yeah, follow the coaches to the ground. That's
yeah,
great,
exactly. Nowadays, the game comes on about half an hour before. That's it. That's your build-up. So, gents, thank you so much again for giving up your time. I do appreciate it. We'll see who makes beat the first man FA Cup final after the weekend. So, gents, stay safe. Pubs are open. If you want to go and have a pint, enjoy. And I will see you all for the final. Take care for now and back to the show.
Take care.
Yeah.
So there we go then. So now you know why Tom was missing, taking one for the team. So it's who will win. Who will win the clash of the brothers? Harry meets Kian in Southampton, Leicester, and me against Dave in the Chelsea Man City game. We'll find out obviously this weekend. Next week we've got another musical guest. I'm going to be joined by Jackson Lucet to discover his music and his football love. We're going to have a good chat with Jackson already. We've shared a few emails. He sounds like a top guy, a good down-to-earth fella. So looking forward to having Jackson on next week's show. So Lineal European Cups time. None of you have mentioned how smart I look today. Yes, I am straight from work and filming this for you lot, just for your entertainment. So the Lineal European Cup has changed hands again Suddenly no one wants to keep hold of it. So you may remember PSG took it off Bayern Munich. They saw off Strasbourg in their first defence, but then they entertained Bayern Munich in the Lineal European Cup final on Tuesday. I mean, there was talk about it as a Champions League game, but nobody was interested in that, let's be honest. And of course, Bayern Munich won 1-0, so they've taken the trophy back to Germany, the third time that Bayern Munich have won it now. They travel to our old friends Wolfsburg as they look to defend the trophy on the weekend. In the Lineal UEFA Cup, you may remember that it was all about the Wolves and the Frankfurters, and I promised I wouldn't make Lineal UEFA Cup lame jokes. Well, it was the food that came out on top against the Wolves. Eintracht Frankfurt won a thriller 4-3 to take the Lineal UEFA Cup, and for now, for them, it's a trip to previous winners, Borussia Mönchengladbach. So, Frankfurters munching. Think I've got something. Look forward to next week's. So, how old the reveal? Best get the old drunken bear back. So, it's time that we're going to reveal the age of John Dempsey. But before we start, let's have a little recap of Mr. Dempsey, shall we, Ted? So, here he is. So, Ted, what are you guessing then? What is that hair? Ted, it was of a time. What time? Lego hour? Ted, come on. Don't be rude. It was fashionable at the time. Ted, stop laughing. Okay, Ted, sorry. I know it wasn't fashionable. Let's be honest. It's a bit out there and it's a bit, extreme. But that's how the kids wore it then. They didn't really. You are talking utter shit. No, they didn't wear it like that, ever. It's horrendous. Anyway, so, let's have some guesses then. I can't guess really. It's just that bad. Okay, well, we'll go to the public. Claire from Air. She said hair. No, she said she's from Air, not hair. No, he's not 19. 19? Really? Is she stupid? 19, for fuck's sake? There's no way she's 19. Ted, it was just a guess. Come on. Uncle Fester from Leicester. Really, is that you? No, it's clearly a wind-up. Uncle Fester from Leicester is not me, is it? Well, his guess of 26 is null and void, and it's wrong. So whoever sent in Uncle Fester, ta-ra, off you go, you got it wrong. So, John Dempsey, when that photo was taken, let me tell you, was 28 years old. 28, Reedy. How old was his Lego hair? Anyway, guess what? I've chosen your Guess V Knowledge game this week. Brilliant, Ted. Who read the fixtures for you? My mate Madders, and we chose the Leicester v Southampton game. Oh, you picked a game that all the players at the COVID party are playing in? Good one. So, the Leicester v Southampton FA Cup semi-final, that's the one. Let's see how you get on with that. Okay, mate. We'll see you next week, pal. So, there's Ted for another week. So, Guess V Knowledge. Well, before we start, let's rewind to last week. No, I'm not clever enough to cut a little bit of last week's and stick it in the show. I boldly sat here and told you Leeds would get at least a point against Manchester City. I even gave you some logical reasons as to why they would get a point against Manchester City. So I called a 1-1 draw. As the game headed into 90 minutes with the score at 1-1, I genuinely was Captain Smug from Smugsville, thinking, Leeds are drawing at City with 10 men. I'm going to get 3 points in Guess V Knowledge. This is just the ultimate. Then, up pops the Cookstown Cafu, Stuart Dallas, sticks the ball in the back of the net in the 93rd minute and scuppers my 3 points. Did I care? Did I shite? We won at Man City with 10 men. Get in. Oh, man, it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I was more than happy to give up the points. So it remains Guess 16, Knowledge 13. It was the happiest I've ever been to have 0 points when I was so close to 3. So as you heard, Ted has chosen this week's game, the Leicester v Southampton FA Cup semi-final to predict. So Guess gave me her weekly reaction. So here we go, let's go. Oh, Southampton are quite good, aren't they? Yeah, they're not bad. Mind you, Leicester are as well, aren't they? Yeah, they're okay. When do you need it by? The show goes out on the same day every week. Why are you asking me that question? Obviously I need it by today when I record. So anyway, after all that, she plumped for 2-2, so she's gone for a high-scoring draw. So you're in for a thriller on Sunday afternoon, if she's right. For me, I've said all along, I think Leicester will get to the final. They've never won it. This is the year when the fans aren't going to be there and not going to make the final. So I just think there's something almost inevitable. They are having a little bit of a choke. They had one last season. They're now having another one. And the worry is that choke going to continue? But I do think they're going to have a little bit too much for misfire in Southampton. The Leicester players have got a massive point to prove. They seriously let their fans down last week. Not particularly the ones that were on the pitch, although they didn't exactly perform great against West Ham, but the ones who decided to have the party and had to miss out, they massively let their teammates and their supporters down. They have got to be flying out the traps. But it is a semi-final, so I do think it'll be tight, but I am going for Leicester to win. I'm going for Leicester 2, Southampton 1. And if you listen closely, you can hear the cheering of the Southampton fans all the way from the south coast as they realise they are probably now going to the FA Cup final, because I have predicted Leicester to win. So, but let's see how it pans out on Sunday. So there we go, another one of my silly little shows comes to a close for a week. It's me that calls it a silly little show. You might call it me, but you've never said it to my face or on social media, so thank you so much for that. So once again, I've blown the budget out the water. I mean, I must have spent 15 pence on electricity at least. I had to get the little knob back out of the box. I mean, that did cost me £1.99 off eBay, so I don't think I've not spent money on this show. Remember, if you like what you saw, please hit the subscribe. Please hit the like. We've said it before, it's not just for the fact that I like to see the little thumbs up. It's good for my ego and it massages me baldy heat, which has gone baldy again. I've had it shaved yet, so we've gone back to having a baldy heat. So massage both of those. Don't forget to comment on Premier League managers. It's a knockout. It's really, really important. And ding ding, next stop Saturday the 24th of April, and it'll be episode 36. We will see you all then, and please guys, as always, stay safe and see you next time.